Welcome to part 6 of the Golden Sun video. Let us continue. When I started working on this part of the model, I noticed that there were some issues with the walls, which I tried to fix at this point, because there was a strange dilemma with the wall corner where you see the edge meets, where the lighting was just kinda just a little funny. It's been like that for a while, but I've mostly been ignoring it up until this point, so I tried to fix it. And my attempt to fix it was basically me just messing around for like 20 minutes, not actually fixing the problem. And I also noticed that there were some issues with the UVs, hence why I started messing around with things in the UV editor, because like you can see how it looks, how there was just weird bended spots. Like, it didn't need to do that. My solution to fixing the wall anyways was deleting it. Which honestly should have been just my first part. That was the easiest thing to do. Delete it. That fixed the whole problem. And then there was also the issue of the actual corners, like the rounded corners of the building. The darkness hits that very weird. So I tried to fix that by doing some beveling, which it does fix it. But it's like, maybe I something that I gotta like work towards not doing again in the future, pretty much. After messing around with the wall, I can't remember if I fully fixed it at this point, but I believe that I did. It should be looking fine in the render view from this point on. I started doing the table. The table wasn't that hard, and I'm super glad it wasn't a completely round object. For the table, I started I started actually doing the UVs, because none of the actual UVs are on it right now. Like, at all. And I started working on the painting. After I transferred over the UVs to Aseprite, I started painting around the corners to see how it looks. And I, for the most part, liked it. I think I edited the UVs again to change the size a little bit at this, just prior to this, because it didn't look completely right. And when I was putting in the shadows, and I put in like a couple highlights, nothing really big. I wasn't super sold on it at the time, but I switched to messing around with the light for a second, because I wanted to put one at the bottom corner, because there's a light coming in the picture, but you don't really see the actual light there for the most part. And then I went straight back to the table. The table was like pretty easy. It wasn't anything complicated, wasn't anything difficult. I started painting it while I was working on the whole thing, and just gradually adding layers. Honestly, more layers to get it to look the way that I wanted. And I wasn't completely sold on it at first until I turned on the render view, and then yeah, it was perfect. It was totally fine. There was no issues with it, really. If it was a problem, it was basically just me being picky at that point. From this point on is when I started messing around with the banister. I changed the textures of the UVs on the railing parts a little, mostly just to get them to split in half. It wasn't nothing really complicated, just so I can give it a little more shade. It's like so it's not just a plain color throughout the entire thing. There was also some things I wanted to fix in the UVs. It wasn't a huge problem. Mostly just moving it so that they can all be in one spot, because they're all the same thing. If you don't need to retexture everything, don't. Painting it for the most part was pretty simple. It was a box-shaped model. Very, very easy to UV, very easy to texture. I put in the shadows, I put in some little highlights, mostly shadows. And of course I started messing around with the actual staircase. You can see me doing it in the bottom left corner. I added a bit of darkness to some areas, but you don't fully see those. And since the stairs are, well, they're all the same, then they're not going to change. Painted one set of the UVs and they all match. So all of the staircase look exactly the same. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied. And that's when I started looking at the vase. But that's for next time.